We can hear you, bro. You are good.
Great. How you guys doing? Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. But when I first learned that I was gonna be opening up this call for you guys, I was like overwhelmed with excitement and big energy. I was just like fired up with gratitude that I was gonna be able to do it. But yeah. Anyway, for all you guys who know me and the ones who really don't, my name is Eric Douglas. I'm 42 years old, based out in Hot Springs, Arkansas. And but anyway, for the last 5 years or so that I've been plugged into the academy, that it's a lot of it's changed since then, and the academy has like in the last 5 years has like grown so much. Um, it's it's just kind of it's better than me than like in every way. Uh, Before I got into the academy, I was going through a little bit of a rough patch. Um, I was homeless. Um, Being like a homeless individual and a single dad all at the same time is kind of like, it took its toll on me. So I just didn't have any clue while I was going through that. I didn't have any clue what I wanted to do or where I was going or whatnot. But what I did know was I needed a wake up call. And to long story short, I got that I got that wake up call. So it wasn't like, the most pretty thing, but I'll go ahead and say that I had my son with me one night. He's 5 years old at the time, and we were parked outside of McDonald's, and I was just like, I was so tired, like tired out of my mind. So we were both sitting in the front seat, and I fell asleep. I fell asleep in the driver's seat. Wasn't driving or nothing. We were parked, but left him wide awake all by himself. Keys in the ignition, doors unlocked, and he was in the front seat playing with the radio, and he didn't have his seatbelt on. And I don't know, I don't remember how long I was asleep for, but I remember waking up to tapping on my windshield. And when I woke up, I saw it was the cops. I guess somebody alerted the cops that I was, asleep at the wheel, and there was a little kid in the car with me. So, anyways, after all that, I got that was the wake up call I needed. So, and it's kind of like after that happened, it's something that like it kind of like it hit me really deep. It really hurt my feelings because I could have I could have lost my son. Because the cops were thinking, are you like in any way, shape, or form, able to take care of your child? But after I told them what my situation was, they actually helped me get a hotel room for that night and extra money for food. So that was like I was grateful for that. That was really nice of them. But so after that, after I got my wake up call, I got me and my son an apartment. So after I got, but the long ride wasn't over with then. You know, I had me and my son. We, even though we had a roof over our heads, we didn't really have much else. I had a job, and I was, working 40 hours a week. We didn't have really nothing much to show for it. No beds to sleep on, nothing to sit on, no no plates, no silverware, none of that. I was starting from scratch. Um, and then it took a little bit to get out of that, but within like the 4 to 5 months, I ended up getting out of that situation. We ended up getting everything we needed. So, but after that, it was probably about a couple of years. Took me about, well, while I was homeless, that's how I picked up on trading, believe it or not. I was on social media a lot, Facebook, and I was seeing it. I was seeing people, talking about, what trading and all this, making this crazy amount of money and all this and that. And I was like, that's that's what I want to do. I said that might be my way, like out of like being kind of broke all the time, because when I was at the time, I was only making like 11 or 12 an hour. But I'm up to 24 an hour now. But back then I was making only like 11 or 12. So it wasn't really even that much money. So, but I knew, I was like, yeah, I was thinking to myself, I need to find out how to do this, and it was just like embedded in my mind, like ever since I had seen it. So for all that like year and a half, 2 years, and after about 2 years, and I was ready to get into it, I reached out to there was a couple of people on this call right now that are currently in the academy that helped me out with that. I went looking for it. No, nobody had to come to me. I went looking for it. So because I knew what the power of trading was. I knew I could make, you know, unlimited amount of money, just learning the skill set. So when after a couple of years, and I ended up, long story short, I ended up, getting into it. I knew it's what I wanted. You know, I didn't want to like keep, I only wanted to work my current job, you know, for so long. You know, and after a while, I thought, you know, I don't want to keep making, I don't want to keep coming in here, you know, working my tail off, not really making that much money. So, I mean, even making 24 an hour, and I work 40 hours a week, and sometimes overtime, it's it's still not enough, really. You know, that's that's crazy. Uh, that's why I'm really glad that I plugged into the academy when I did. So going, I've been in the academy for about 5+ years now, and simply put, you know, I love the company. I love being here. It's, you know, the community, the education, so mentorship, the leadership that we get in here is just, it's second to none. You know, and I'm like grateful to be a part of it. It's really powerful. Yeah, I just felt like it can like take me places that I've never really even thought of, because I've always been, on the lower end of the financial spectrum like my whole entire life. So my grandmother raised him. My grandmother really never even had that much money at all. You know, we've never really been. I've never really seen probably more than like $5,000 in my whole entire life in my bank account, and that was only because of tax refund I get because having my son. Otherwise, it would have just been smaller. And that's the only time I've ever really seen, you know, $5,000 at a time in my checking account, and it didn't really even last that long either. I was always going through it because I didn't have any. I wasn't financial literate, uh, but that's one thing that I can look to. One of the several things that I can look to that the academy has helped me with is to become more financial literate. Also learning all these different skill sets to where you know I had the opportunity to make you know whatever I want. Really, there's like no cap on it. For as far as the education part of it, right now I'm currently plugging into everything. You know, a couple of educators from DCX. Mike Sotero and Curtis Cobain. For stocks, Patrick Kinney, and for Forex, Mike Navarrete for trading psychology. So I'm really just into those few right now, and just doing that, just plugging into the go lives and taking trades and uh, I just as far as trading goes, I just got through like completing like out of 17 trades, I hit 15 of them. And that's like that's not just me. That's mostly just taking the trades from the educators and stuff. So that's another thing that's really great about this academy and stuff. All the education and all the trades that we're given and we can take and um, all that. So yeah, that's pretty much basically almost my whole entire story. Just trying to climb the ladder, and I kind of leveled up this year. Um, um, it's it's I don't really want. I just want better. I don't want to be in the same situation that my grandmother was. Always having to work. She worked until she was like in her 80s. Uh, I'm not even kidding. She worked that long, and she always told me it was something that she liked to do. Uh, let's face it, she just she didn't really have the finances to retire at age 65. She actually did retire when she was 65, but then she had to go back to work because you know money was real thin, and that was a while back, not just recently. Well, another thing is I don't want to I don't want to go that route because my grandmother, she had one simple goal, and that was to go on a 5 day cruise. Um, she never got a chance to do that, and that kind of like that hurt me real bad because that's kind of like there was nothing I can do about it. Well, make sure that I don't run into the same trap, and neither does my son. So, but yeah, that's that's pretty much basically my story. So one thing, uh, one thing that's like the thing that's like really really important to me, and in terms of the academy, is just gives you like a bigger way of thinking about things. It's giving me like everything I've like really never even had. Not a lot of money. Financial literacy. Mindset. Nothing. I made a lot of financial mistakes in my life, and I'm kind of over it. I want to get out of it. Well, but yeah. Anyway, uh, that, that's that's really all I have.
Eric, I got a question for you, bro. I appreciate you for coming on here. It takes a lot of courage to step up, to bring your energy, to cast a vision, to talk about your history, your backstory, where you're coming from. They say public speaking is one of the scariest things for people to do. I got one question for you to answer, 30 seconds or less. Definitely want to make sure we can respect everybody's time. And I know the people need to hear this from you, because you're probably one of the, if not the most consistent people in our group, in our organization, probably even in Mike Sotero's organization and beyond. Like, I see you, we all see you in the chat, you're in the Telegram, you are doing your thing, bro. Who right now, you mentioned a couple things, but who is your number one educator that you are tuning into, and the tool that you're plugging into right now?
Ooh, yeah, that's close. Uh, the number one tool I'm actually plugging into is, well, there's two of them, SwipeCoin and the harmonic scanner. And the number one educator, man, I would say Mike Navarrete. And then I would say Curtis and Mike are like a really, really close second.
Yeah.
My mind kind of switched. As soon as I got the I empowered, I was like all into Forex. And it was less in the crypto, even though I was still in the crypto. I'm just like, I'm into all of it. I just love it all. But
I
yeah,
know you are.
Mike Navarrete he's the main one because of his trading psychology.
Yes. I love it, bro. I love it. Guys, can we drop some sevens? Can we drop some emojis in the chat? Can we show some love to Eric on the call? Bro, we are so appreciative of you, and not just being here on the call today and sharing the vulnerability, the transparency in where you were to where you are now, and most importantly, where you're going. It's just a testament to your heart. It's just a testament to your courage, and your vision for yourself. And I can tell you, bro, like, you do this better than nobody I've ever seen. Is you consistently show up no matter what's going on in your outside world, no matter what's going on at work, with your family, at home. You got car problems, you got home problems, you got, you name it, problems. You consistently show up no matter what the circumstances are. And you're just a testament to that. You have a ripple effect. We all have a ripple effect with our actions. But Eric, we so appreciate your impact inside of this organization, inside of our team, your tenacity, your perseverance. Like, it goes, like, you inspire all of us, bro. And I want us to all look at Eric as an example of somebody that just continues to show up, even in the midst of adversity, even in the midst of storms, even in the midst of things going terribly wrong behind the scenes. But you'd never know it. You would never know it, because what Eric continues to show up. So, bro, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for opening up tonight's call. Guys, we're going to cut right into this. We want to make sure that you guys, the purpose of these calls are really, really meant to just regroup, get everybody, redirected, on track, ready to rock and roll. It doesn't matter what your past looks like. It doesn't matter what you did yesterday. Maybe your day didn't go the way that you wanted it to go. You are here. You are here right now. We got to lock in. We got to be present. And we want to make sure that you get back on track. And if you are on track, you go full blaze ahead. You are steaming. You are moving and grooving. And so I want to encourage you guys, I need your cameras on for the remainder of this call. I hope that you guys are paying attention, you're taking notes, but please have your camera on. The reason I say this, y'all have heard this maybe before. I know that all things are up for grabs when our cameras are off. There's no accountability. We're susceptible to distractions. And I know y'all did not come on this call just to get motivated. You didn't come here just because somebody texted you to be on. Now you are here for, even if that's the case, we're going to change the mindset right now. You are here for a reason. You came here with an expectant heart that you're going to receive something, a reminder, a reset, a recharge, a redirection. An expectant hearts they're not going through the motions. Okay, they're deliberate, they're intentional, they're focused, they're present, and they're ready to receive. And they also recognize, to Eric's great example, their actions have a ripple effect. And if that's you, I encourage and I challenge you to turn your camera on. We're going to lock in this energy together tonight. And I believe you jumped on here thinking, seeing, believing, feeling some type of way right now. But if you are open and you will let go, you will leave here changed and transformed. Can I get some ones in the chat? Are y'all with me? Are we ready? Are we ready to rock and roll, baby? Let's rock and roll, baby. Okay. So really quickly, I want to make sure that we are all on the same page. There is a 4-step system. Y'all have heard this before. I'm just going to package it in a way that makes sense. Okay. 4-step system inside of the academy. You've got to make sure that this is the foundation. Y'all are plugging in the right way, and we have consistency. We've got sustainability in our day-to-day. Number one, 4-step system, academy basic videos. If you haven't gone through those, make sure you've done that. Step 2 is the go live sessions. Y'all got to make sure you have your schedule, your calendar in place. You have your go live educators that you are tuning into, you are watching. Guys, I had somebody ask me the other day, how many hours he's about to get started. How many hours should I be, tapping into the sessions on a week-to-week basis? What can I expect? And I love setting the right expectations. So I said, great. The average person does about 5 to 7 hours a week. Okay. High achievers probably do 10 plus hours. And I said, personally, I do about 12 to 15. Sometimes it's a little bit more. Like today I did about 3 hours. Not like I just can't. I work from home. Like it's simple. I know some of you guys can't do that, but listen, you got to do something that you can do. You got to do something that's sustainable. You got to have a schedule. Something is better than nothing. I know when I get my workout in, I never regretted a workout. I've never regretted jumping on Go Live. If you got doubt, disbelief, discouragement in your heart, defeat, you got to get on a session. You got to immerse yourself in the environment. Okay, that's number 2, Go Live sessions. Number 3 are the strategies. And I would even tie in there the Go Social platform. Strategy and Go Social. You've got to have a strategy that you are taking trades from, that you are leveraging to get in and out of the market. Okay. And you're leveraging Go Social. Go Social is so underrated. I got this thing up. I got my notifications on. You get direct communication with your educators when they're not even live on the platform. It's amazing. Okay. That's number 3. And then the last piece, probably the most important piece, the core of it all, the centerpiece is the community. Guys, I'm not to give you an analogy, but like, you can have a relationship with Jesus Christ, but if you're not a part of the church, then what are we doing? Okay. You can try to do this by yourself, but you have got to get involved with the community. You've got to immerse yourself. You can't be out in these streets trying to do this alone. You're going to get discouraged. You're going to get bitter. Like I've seen it all time and time again, baby. Like you've got to get yourself around the environment. You are the average of the 5 people you hang around. You become who you're surrounded by, what you see on a day-to-day basis. You've got to get in the community. Okay. So everybody have the 4-step system. We can drop this in the chat so that you guys have it. I want to make sure that you guys are all equipped. Okay. You guys are all equipped. You're all empowered to go out and not just achieve your goal, but transform. And that's what we really want to get into the call tonight. But I want to make sure that we are setting goals. We have a daily checklist. And most importantly, we have a vision for where we're going in our life. Write this down. What is your long-term and short-term goals? Okay. Long-term are 18 plus months. Okay. 18 months or more. Short-term goals are 90 days or less. So goals within the next week, 30 days, 60, 90 days. Long-term goals are like, over a year plus, year and a half, 2 years, so on and so forth. Write down what your goals are for both long-term and short-term. I'm not talking about, when you have, that could be a long-term goal, $100 million in the bank. Absolutely. But we need to know what you're doing tomorrow. Like, it doesn't matter what your 10-year goal is if you don't have a daily checklist of what you're doing tomorrow. Guys, I have a checklist that I write down every single day. I mark these things off. This is my guiding light, if you will, keeps me on track. You've got to have goals. You got to have direction. Your goals give you direction. Okay. Don't be attached to them, be connected to them. But you want to have personal and financial goals. You want to have personal financial goals, both long-term and short-term. And within your goals, you have a daily checklist. Okay. You reverse engineer the goal, and that's how you derive your daily checklist is derived from your goal itself. So you have a goal by this deadline. Basically, what you do on a day-to-day basis is supposed to set you up to achieve and surpass that goal. Okay. And if you don't hit your goals, okay, you don't need to take it personally. You don't need to, what I'm trying to say is put your whole identity in that result or outcome. Okay. I'm connected to the goal, but it's not my identity. It doesn't define me. It doesn't define my personal value or my self-esteem. The checklist, the daily checklist, is just to ensure that you are on track to hitting that goal that you set for yourself. And if you don't hit it, you reevaluate. Okay. You readjust. That we're entrepreneurs. Like, that's what we do. Not even entrepreneurs. That's what healthy people do, is they don't keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That's called insanity, right? So the last thing is, what is your vision? What is your vision for transformation? Not just a vision, not just any old vision. Some of us have visions in our life right now that are leading us nowhere. And what does it say in the Bible? What does it say in the Bible? The people without a vision, what? They perish. We've got to have a vision. Not just you individually have to have a vision for your life, for your household, for your family, for who you're becoming. But as an organization, as a team, as a unit, we have to have a vision of transformation for us as a whole, because rising tides raise all ships. You don't think that you matter? You don't think that your actions don't matter? You do, baby. Every single action you take, you decide to show up in the chat today, you decide to get on Go Live. I see your username. I see Eric's username all the time in the Go Lives. I see Alex's. I think I remember Crystal, so I see yours too. Like, I see you guys on Go Live. You don't think that you matter? Absolutely. All of your actions have a ripple effect. You currently have a vision. It just may not be serving you. Comfort is greater than your vision. Excuses may be greater than your vision. You have a vision. It's just maybe not taking you anywhere, because we're falling back in complacency. We're settling back into what's comfortable and familiar. But what's comfortable and familiar may not always be what's right for you. So we got to have a mission. We got to be like, it's not just like, oh, I'm getting here, I'm doing that. It's like, this is who I am. This is who I am. This is a lifestyle. When you are on a mission, you will do things at wild hours of the day, when it does not make sense, when it's inconvenient, when it's uncomfortable, when people look at you like you're crazy. You will find a way and make it happen, because your vision is greater than the pain you're going through. It's greater than the doubt that you're experiencing. It's greater than the fear that's hanging over your head. It's greater than the discouragement that's in your heart. You have got to have a vision greater than your current circumstances. You've got to have a vision beyond what you see with your physical eyes, because all you see is all that you will see. All you see is all that you will see. And God, I pray on this call, you give every single individual on this call new eyes, a fresh vision to see what you see, to see a vision beyond and greater than fear, than doubt, than anxiety. I pray this over all of you guys. You have got to see with your spiritual eyes. You can no longer see with your physical eyes. You've been seeing with your physical eyes too long, and it's kept you right where you are. And I don't know who I'm speaking to on this call. I'm not trying to be motivational at all by any means. I really hope you are resonating with something that I am saying, and you don't just leave this call feeling hyped and motivated and all that stuff. I really hope, biggest thing is, you leave here taking action. You are evaluating yourself. You are facing who you really, really are. I have a word for y'all today. I know that was just a little bit of the warm up. I have a call in like 25 minutes, so we're going to wrap this up before then, but I hope you guys can hang on with me, because, and I hope you, for those of you that have your camera off, I really hope that you're paying attention. I have a word specifically for you. I pictured every single person that's in our group chat on this call tonight, because I was speaking to you something that I believe can make an impact in the way that you're doing the things right now to take you to where you want to go. I see where you can go. I see the possibility of who you can become. And I'm speaking to you guys right now on this call. I titled this call, Where is Your Faith? Because faith in the right place is the answer to probably all of our problems. Faith in the right place is the answer to all of our problems. The root of our repeated problems is faith in the wrong place. We show up every week, every month, every quarter, on a day-to-day basis, and it's the same issues we're still facing. And I'm not talking about your situation. I'm talking about how we're approaching our situation. And this could be inaction. It could be inconsistency, which none of these are the root problem, by the way. I'm going to get into that. It could be too much action and not enough evaluation. Write this down. The value that you're looking for is in your evaluation. You've got to evaluate yourself. You've got to take responsibility. You've got to review the things that you're doing. And the reason this is because we're only focused on the action and not the heart. This is my whole message for the call, y'all. Like, this is the message. We're only focused on the action and not the heart. We're only focused on the outcome and not the heart, on the result. We're only focused on the situation. Man, this is all I see. And all you see is who you become. We're only focused on the circumstance that we're in and not our heart. But write this down. It's not what I do. It's not what I get. It's not what I have that matters. It's who I am. It's your character. It is who you are when bad things happen, when you know what hits the fan, when things don't go your way. It's a heart change. If your heart doesn't change, neither will your actions or your results. I need y'all to get this. It is a heart change. If your heart doesn't change, neither will your actions or your results. Okay, so my question, we're just getting into this, but my question for you, I really want you to take some time to lean into this. What are the beliefs? What are the beliefs that are producing inconsistency, low self-esteem, inaction, complacency, justification? Justification is a killer. It has killed more dreams, more actions than anything. Or bitterness. What are the beliefs that are producing those things in your life right now? This is a rhetorical question. You take it, you write it out, you evaluate that for yourself. Because right in there somewhere is the root to why we're producing these things in our life. Okay. And I believe that this is the year of personal accountability. I believe this is the year of personal accountability. Let's be honest. Let's be open, because the only way to change is to face yourself. And I want to give you guys a couple really practical examples of how this shows up in our day-to-day lives. And I want you guys to hear my heart through these messages. I'm not here to talk at anybody, because I can relate to all of these things. All of these things. You should have seen me just a couple months ago. I was struggling to get up and actually go work out. I was struggling to stay consistent. I was struggling to do the things that I needed to do. I'm getting up at 4:15 in the morning right now, y'all, and I don't even know how. All I can tell you is God is gracing me through this. I'm just trying to stay as faithful as I can. And it's not even about the time. It's just I need to make sure I have a couple hours before I start work in the morning to take care of me. I've got to clock in for myself before I even consider clocking in for somebody else. And so if that means waking up at 4 a.m. because that's my goal, a couple hours before I start work, then that is what I got to do. And when you have a vision of transformation, it don't matter what time it is. It don't matter what's going on. You find a way, you make a way, you commit to it. Okay. So a couple examples I want to share with you, and I'm just being really practical because these are things that I've seen in my own personal life. And I also have seen in conversations that I've had. So number one is when time starts to invade your goals, which, write this down. You hitting your goals have nothing to do with time. And that should be very reassuring. That should be very empowering. Time is not associated with goals. Like, yes, you're going to grow over time, but it's not about, man, I should have been here. It's been this amount of time. No, that's not a good way to look at this. A good way to look at this is, what have I done in the time that I've been here? What's my repetition look like? And we'll get into that. But when time starts to invade your goals, what happens is we create pressure that never needed to exist in the first place. We start to create pressure that never had to exist in the first place. And we start to force and manipulate situations, compromising, for example, your trading rules, your plan, your standards, your integrity, just to get a result that you haven't even properly prepared yourself to handle or manage, because you've been making this about money, the result, and not about your transformation. I know that was a mouthful, But I want you guys, I really want us to understand, like, what are we making this about? What is at the heart? At the heart, what are we making this about? Because I can tell you, if your priorities, if your intentions, your heart is in the wrong place, you're always going to be right there. We've got to make this about transformation. I'm telling this to everybody I talk to right now, and I shared this with some of the leaders, you guys, on the call. When I talk to people about what we do here, the transformation begins before they even get started. The transformation begins before someone even gets started. We've got to look at this as a transformational process, because income never surpasses your mindset. We know that, right? Your income will never surpass your mindset. It will never outgrow your heart set. So how's your heart? From when you started to now, are you still bitter? Are you still discouraged? Has it become worse? Or maybe it's not. Maybe you're like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Hey, I love it. I love it. I'm speaking to an individual, somebody on this call, a couple people, maybe a handful. I don't know. Maybe you can relate to this. How is your heart? How is your heart? And when you go through this process with yourself, don't blame, don't play the victim, don't point the finger. I want you to get curious, and I want you to ask yourself and evaluate the reasons, because your heart, the state of your heart is the reason we are in the place that we're in right now. And I'm just going to be honest with y'all. It ain't easy. For those of you that know, I gave my heart to Jesus a couple years ago, and it is not easy to walk with Jesus, to walk on this great walk of faith with our God. I am tested every single day. Believe me, with things that I don't want to let go of. I know it is hard, and it is going to be similar here. You cannot get a new result if you have not changed your old ways. Showing up to a new opportunity, to a new place, to a new scene, to a new skill. We've never done this before, with our old ways of thinking, our old ways of seeing, our old ways of believing and doing things. There's got to be a transformation if you want to make new money, different money, a new way of increasing your income. You guys get what I'm trying to say. I follow a gym guy, and he said something so profound. If you guys understand what a caloric deficit is, it means eating less calories. You have to eat less calories to lose weight, right? I think, common universal thing we all can understand. The reason, he said, the reason you're not losing weight yet, the reason you're not losing weight yet you're in a caloric deficit is because you're not actually in a caloric deficit. I laughed so hard at this. I was like, wait, what? And then I got it, because the same thing applies here. The reason you're not profitable maybe in your trading, yet you're taking all the same ideas just like the educators are calling them out, is because you're not actually taking the ideas just like they're calling them out. I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but I can tell you there is something deeper to the surface than what we're just seeing. If you're not profitable, there's more to what is just being seen on the surface. And I know this may be hard to hear, and some of you guys are like, I have no idea what you're talking about. All right, maybe you need to plug in a little bit more. Maybe we need to be more consistent, because you will go through losses. You will start to question yourself. And I need you to know that it is you that always needs to look at yourself for improvement. Never will we improve when we do this. It's always got to be back at ourselves. There is something that maybe you're doing or you're not doing. And I'm just having a real conversation, because this is the conversation I needed to have in order to actually start being profitable in my trading. Because I can be 40% accurate and I can still be profitable. How do I know this? Number one, I hear it on Go Live all the time. I listen to Patrick Kinney. He says it almost every single day on every session. I listen to Mike Navarrete. He literally goes over it all the time. Okay. I can be 40% accurate and still profitable. And I've documented it. I have the evidence. If you see me in person, and maybe even on these calls, I have showed you my trade breakdown. I have an entire journal of my trades where I literally document everything. And I'm still profitable at 40% accuracy. And I want you guys to write this down just on the trading side. One trade should never make or break your account. And I'll tell you guys right now, you guys saw in the chat today, we had a couple losses from swipe coin today. I hope y'all, yes, risk management. I hope y'all had proper risk management on those and you weren't FOMOing out. And risk to reward, absolutely. You guys weren't FOMOing out. You weren't getting greedy. You weren't trying to jump back in the market and make up your profits. One trade, a couple trades should never make or break your account. 3 losses in a row should not blow what you have. If you can't handle a 3% loss, maybe from 3 trades, or a 6% loss from 3 trades or whatever, then maybe you should change your risk management. Maybe you should trade how you're taking the trades. Are you holding your trades all the way through to your risk to reward, to your exit? And I'm going to kind of touch on this in just a moment, but I want you guys to just start to get in the idea and the frame of mind that if I want to see change, I have got to be the one that changes. And it starts in my heart. So the second example, the last example, is some of you guys, and this was me included, okay? I'm just putting this out there. Before I put this together, I evaluated myself, and I can relate to all of this. So I'm talking to me too. But I hope that some of you guys take this for what it is. Some of us are just not doing enough. Let's be honest. Some of us are just not doing enough. Some of us are doing way too much, and we've got so much pressure in the outcome and the result that our whole identity and self-esteem and heart is in the result itself. And we can't live like that. We can't do this that way. We won't create success doing that. And then on the other hand, some of us are just not doing enough at all. Yet we let life and our circumstances control what we do. We let our job, we let our family, our kids, our car, our home, our finances, look, all of it control what we do, how we show up. Everything can be held accountable. And I believe accountability breeds discipline, and discipline breeds freedom. The more freedom, the more tighter of a leash I hold myself on, the more freedom I have. I am on track. I've got boundaries. And I'm not talking about you can't talk to me, you can't talk to me. No, that's not what I'm saying. I have boundaries on myself for what I allow myself to do, so that I can enjoy the freedoms that what we get to do here allows. And I give myself the opportunity to hold myself accountable. But I don't believe you get accountability until you take ownership of the things that you're allowing to control you in the first place, and how you respond and show up. Okay. We either stay a victim to our situation, or we can use our situation as a reason to transform. That's a big one, baby. That's a big one. We can either stay a victim to our situation, or we can use our situation as a reason to transform. How much longer do you want your circumstances and how you feel to control what you do and whether you show up or not? How much longer do you want to let how you feel control what you do and how you show up, whether you show up or not? Okay. Every week, I know it happens. Job, kids, same thing comes up. You name it. That's life. You can guarantee there will always be some. Type in the chat, y'all agree. There will always be something. Are we all on the same page? There will always be something that comes up. And I'm going to tell you right now that one of the most important things I'll say on this call right now, you did not sign up for I Am Academy to stay the same. But some of us are still the same. And I'm not talking, like, I'm really talking about your heart right now. We're still, and I'm talking about how we're showing up to things, how we're handling things, how we're responding to things. I'm not talking about your results. I'm talking about how we are showing up and responding to things. You did not sign up here to I Am Mastery Academy to stay the same. You came here to transform. You did not, I know you signed up because you want to make money, and the money's going to come, I promise you. But until you transform, everything is going to stay right here. Everything is going to stay right here. Your income never surpasses your mindset. So why do we let everything on the outside affect who we are on the inside? Why do we let everything on the outside affect who we're becoming on the inside? How have you or have you not transformed since you've gotten started? I want you to look at that. I want you to evaluate that for yourself. You got to face yourself. How many more days, how many more weeks, months, years do you want to view and respond to your life in the way that you've always done? Okay. And I can go through the list: justifying, excuses, playing the victim, being bitter. This is, inconsistency, inaction, you name it. Not showing up yet again. This does not set you up for success. So last couple things: your life will not change until you change. Cliche, I know, but it's so damn true. Your life will not change until you change. You've got to set standards and let go of expectations. You've got to set standards and let go of expectations. If this doesn't happen, it's okay. It doesn't control how I show up. How I feel does not control how I show up. I can have a great feeling, and that can maybe add fuel to the fire. But if I'm not feeling good because this happened to me, or XYZ, it cannot control how I show up. Stop letting the outside things control who you're becoming on the inside, And the last thing is, this is not about the money. It's about the money. Please hear my words here. If you're only making it about the money and you've totally neglected that you need to transform, you will be here another year. I hope that you're here another year, but you will be disappointed with your results, because you've got to see a change in your heart. So maybe the reason you haven't seen the change that you want to see is because your heart is hard as a brick. Your heart is as hard as a brick. Your heart has yet to truly change. Transformation begins in the heart. Is your heart still the same from when you got started? I want y'all to get curious. Don't let shame, don't let guilt determine how you see yourself or whether you decide to show up or not. Okay. So I want to leave you guys with this. I know on our service on Sunday, our pastor gave us some really, really powerful perspective, change of heart scripture. And something that he said, I want to leave you guys with this is, I know all of you guys on this call, you're going through something, whether to a large degree, to a small degree, you are going through something that's making an impact on you, that is affecting you in some way, shape, or form. Okay. I know life has been tough. I know that life can beat you up, has maybe been beating you up. You feel like, when is this ever ending? You feel like Job. You guys know the story of Job in the Bible. You feel like, God, when is, like, are we done? Are we done? Are we done yet? But he said something on Sunday service. He said, it is your greatest victories that will happen in your deepest, darkest, loneliest valleys. So wherever you're at, if you feel like you're in that valley right now, and I'm really not trying to be cliche, like, all of these are just promises. Like, I started to look at the Bible and God's word is not just like, oh, this is nice, cute little quote saying, like, these are his actual promises in God's word. I started to look at it completely differently. And I want to encourage you guys to plug in, to immerse yourself, to write down your goals, to get clear on your vision. You've got to have a vision of transformation for your life. For those that don't know, Arizona regional event is coming up in April 9th, April 10th. Okay. I would do whatever you can to get in the room, to get in that building, to get in that room and to get in that building, get in the environment. You will walk in one way and you will walk out completely different. Arizona regional event, there's still time. You can still get your ticket. We want to help you. Let us know, reach out for support. Yes, invest in yourself. And then for those that don't know, they are doing like this US breakout pre-convention tour to fire up all the cities. We want to get everybody ready to rock and roll. There is, I'm pretty sure, a city everybody can go to one of these, especially if you're in the United States. There is a city on there that you can find and get to that event. We'll share this and drop this in the chat. But I want to encourage you guys, this is the last thing here. I want to encourage you guys to share, get involved, man. Like, get in the chat, share in the chat what you're working on, what you're making progress in, who you're learning from, what you're learning from, what lessons, are you learning? What are the wins? Let's talk about the wins. Okay. I know that I grow faster and my commitments last longer when I am immersed in the community. The devil wants you isolated. The devil wants you, he said this on Sunday. He said, he wants you isolated. He wants you to bury your pain. He wants you to be in your head. He wants you to doubt, to make excuses, to not show up, to justify, to think small, to belittle yourself, to play the victim. He wants you to hide and carry all your pain and all your trials by yourself. But God wants you to surrender it. He wants you to give it all to him, and he wants you to rejoice about it. Your mistakes. And this is a perspective shift, because I think sometimes we tend to hide our mistakes and our weaknesses and our situation that we don't want anybody to know about. But your mistakes and your failures and your setbacks and your weaknesses and your shame, okay? Number one, let's not look at it like that, but God wants you to put that on display. God wants you to put it on display so that the world can see what God has brought you through. And that's how we're going to give him glory. Like, I want to tie everything back into, how can I give him glory for what I'm doing here and positioning people to get financially educated and equipped and empowered and walk on that narrow path. Your mistakes and your failures do not define you. The enemy wants you to bury the hell that he put you through, but God wants you to boast about the hell he is bringing you through, that he has already brought you through, and tell the world that you are going through hell, but this is just a pit stop. We are not stopping here. God did not bring you here to keep you here. He's got something for you. He's got something blessed for you, just for you. So that is the call, you guys. Get plugged in, immerse yourself in the environment, step up. And I know a lot, this isn't to promote building the business at all whatsoever. This is a mindset shift. I want you to look at, because everybody on this call is a leader, okay? This is what I'm saying. Hear my words, hear my heart with this. I want you to look at yourself like you are the leader. You are the leader, okay? I leverage my mentors. I leverage the leaders in my life, and I will submit to them all day long, every day. But there's another side to this where you can't just keep playing on the sidelines in your life. You have to be the leader. And what does that look like? You've got to, that's a whole nother call. You've got to step up and be the leader. So this is about transformation. This ain't just about, like, stop just focusing on the money, because it's not going to come until you transform yourself, until you work on your heart, you work on yourself. So I love you guys. Let's get in the chats. Let's blow it up. Let's plug in. Let's immerse ourselves. We're going to have another team call like this in April. I love you guys. I so appreciate y'all. Like, every single one of you. I love you guys so much. Like, literally, I could cry about it, but I'm not. I'm going to end this call before we do that. So I love you guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great rest of your night, and peace.